I moved to a very small town. The population is approximately 1,400, where things like cussing and swearing are frowned upon. For example, I heard a waitress say, "Oh, my stars." She made a mistake. The same waitress is very nice.
She was crucified in the streets.
I want to ask her out. There's one major issue. I curse like a sailor. I mean that. I was raised by two of them. Brothers, how do I stop swearing every other word? Sincerely, Justin?
Bah, bah, bah. I looked it up, by the way, because they included the name of the town. And 1,400, the population. It sincerely is like Twin Peaks looking, like in Montana, like beautiful, like a river right next to the town, mountains overlooking it.
Did they say if they were a transplant into this area or not?
Yeah, they've recently moved there.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay. I was gonna say if you've always lived here, why do you cuss so much?
I'm kind of the bad boy of my small town,
of my whole town. You don't want to. Hold on.
Do you think you could get ostracized? Could you curse enough to where people would talk about it?
Yes.
Because then you've got a little bit of mystique going.
Oh,
yes.
You're like the Kevin Bacon of swearing in this small town.
That's
You're bringing
right.
swearing in.
Fuck yeah. You put on a denim jacket and you come strolling up to the diner, walk in, pop your collar, and just go like, "Bastard," and everyone's like, "Oh,
whoa!" And all the teens get behind you, and they're going, "Bastard, bastard, bastard, bastard."
And now I'm gonna cut loose. Fuck loose. And I'll just
fuck
everybody
loose.
Shit, everybody fuck.
Everybody ass, everybody damn. Fuck loose. Fuck.
I got my dick on the ground.
This is bad.
I mean, I have had a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun cursing at home. I do think it's also funny to say things like crumbs.
Yeah.
Is a good one. That can be even more intentional because you're using that language intentionally.
Yeah.
Which is the problem with cursing. If you're using it unintentionally, then it loses its power. But if you mid-conversation are like, "Oh, shucks," people are going to take notice. That's someone who's really angry.
Yeah. There are so many good ones, shit. Like Land of Goshen is a good one.
No.
Yeah.
Gold Blimey. Zutalor. Can you start doing some French-ass cussing? Zutalor, mon dieu, merde.
No, because that's cussing. I hate when people do that when they say stuff in other languages that's still cussing.
You hate when people speak in other languages? Griffin doesn't like when people don't speak English.
Let me cook. I mean, the thing I was going to say isn't anything. So, I mean, it's not
You're
worth
cooking
the
an empty
burn that I
pot?
subject myself. I'm cooking. I'm making stone soup over here. With
You would rather I not put a big frame around it and draw a small crowd.
Let him cook. Oh shit. I was gonna. I was just peeling a potato for fun. No, come on, let him cook.
Cook it up.
Fuck.
Good news, Griffin's Bit. It's time to put you in the shop window. You've got your chance. Come on, Griffin's Bit. Gather around, everyone. Some of those old you can use some of those old, what do they call them, like when the Shakespearean curses where they like crosswords, something like that, like zunes. You know what I mean? Like short for God's wounds.
Yeah.
Zunes is good, but it makes you sound like a dork, which is why the curse words, the regular ones, are so cool.
God's
They're
blood
really
is a
cool.
good one though. We can bring
God's
that.
blood
God's
is-
blood. It makes me mad.
Hey, I
That's
shout out
wild.
to this town if they're offended by cursing, but if you're like, "Blood of Christ," they're like, "I'd rather you not do that."
Actually, can you just say fuck? We all talked about
Yeah.
it. Listen,
Just say fuck.
It wasn't hard. There's only 1,400 of us. We got together, and 1,399 of us agreed we'd rather just you say fuck. Then stop calling people like curs or whatever you've been doing. We don't like that anymore. Just say bastard. It's fine.
You could revitalize the town's economy by putting a swear jar in City Hall and make it so that when anyone cusses anywhere in the city, they have to go to City Hall and put a coin in the swear jar. And maybe at the end of the year, you guys buy a bunch of crab legs. Bigger jars with that money for more and more cussing until we turn this into the foulest, dankest swamp of profanity that does exist in all of the United States.
Listen,
Don't do that.
1,400 people, you need a thing. You need a hook. Your town needs a hook. What if it was the town that always cusses? Hey, do you want to go to the cuss capital of the world? Yeah. Here, every word's a cuss.
or the town that never cusses. And
that seems more attainable. Like if
Yeah.
you need a tourist thing, why not do the thing that you're already doing?
Oh, okay. Cuss Fest 2024.
Don't uproot this town
day
from the firmament.
one
Start
day a
anew.
year, they get all their cusses out,
yeah.
and then you make it a big festival.
Cuss
Yeah.
day is good.
Let me
I like
intro-
the idea of a cuss day.
Check this out. Movie. Trucker stops in this town, stops at the diner, and they're like, what can I get you? And he's like, a cup of coffee, please, for the road. And they give it to him. He spills it on his lap. And he's like, ah, shit. Everyone in the diner looks up at him, terrified. And the server is like, you gotta go. And he's like, what? And she's like, you gotta go. You gotta get out of town. It's quick. And then you hear coming because the robot, the Grim Reaper, the cussing, there's something that's like a monster.
I don't know what you're saying, Griffin. I would love to help you.
It's like
This
a
is
big
not
monster
letting
that comes
dangle.
after you if you cuss, and then it's like a
Oh,
quiet.
yeah.
Then it's like a quiet place where, like, if you cuss, like the monster's going to come and get you and kill you. And so now
Just
they have
like
to get.
when in the movie when the bird dragons or whatever the fuck are about to eat John Krasinski's kid, he's like, fuck.
Yeah,
And then they come for him.
yeah, that's what
And
happens.
that's why John Krasinski's just running away going, fuck, 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 fuck. And the monster's like,
movie that
that
is
is
a quiet
bothering
place."
me so much, John Krasinski. This
They
is
can
a
only hear
family
cursing.
restaurant.
I'm glad that helped. I have a mode. You guys have a mode. Everybody has a mode,
Yeah.
right?
No
You can
cussing
flip
mode.
the switch.
Yep.
You have to flip the switch. I do it on Sawbones. I
Yep.
don't do it anywhere else.
I will say that my favorite version of that mode is when long car trip, kids are like watching their iPad, maybe they got headphones on. And I'm like, I know that right now isn't 100% safe for me to cuss.
Yeah.
But I can cuss quietly to my wife. And it's the most I feel back in like 10th grade, 11th grade, where you're like cussing and you're like,
Yeah.
shit. Yeah. And I was like, what is all this shit? And I feel so like I've gotten away with something. It's a little treat for me.
You got to be careful though, because if you start making it seem too interesting or too important, the obsession will set in. Last night, my wife and I were trying to have a very normal conversation about Saltburn.
Yeah.
And she said, you know, the bathtub thing? And I said, honey,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
honey, other people do. Honey, if you say it again, they will haunt you to the ends of the earth.
Yeah.
They'll never rest until you tell them, and you absolutely can't.
Yeah.
Please don't mention things like that again. And immediately, as I was saying that, both of them veered into the dining room. Like they had been, like they sensed the electricity in the air. They know, they always know.
I paused the TV watching Death and Other Details. As Dot walked into the room, she said, what is this movie? And I, without thinking, said, oh, it's a murder mystery. And she said, what is that? And I was like,
What is murder?
What is murder?
Yeah.
The concept of murder?
Uh-huh.
Uh-oh.
Hey, this might surprise you. Hasn't come up a lot with my 4-year-old.
Yeah.
Doesn't come up on Fire. It doesn't come up on Firebuds. Doesn't come up a lot in Paw Patrol. Doesn't.
What did you tell her that Dr. Frankenfurter did to Eddie?
It hasn't come up a lot with my 4-year-old.
You guys don't watch Rocky Horror every couple
Now,
weeks?
to be
Okay,
fair,
sorry.
never once. She does enjoy Nightmare Before Christmas, and she's never been like, what did Jack Skellington do to Oogie Boogie? Right?
Okay.
And which I would say self-defense.
Now there was, I
It's not
will
a
say,
court alive.
Manslaughter at worst.
quick correction. There was the episode of Paw Patrol where Mayor Humdinger is murdered in his home. And
Yeah,
It's-
okay. But
it's
Mayor
done
Humdinger
tasty-
faked
it's
it.
done-
Faked it. Faked his own
But
death, though. So that was easy to say.
I gotta push back. You still learn when Chase rolls up into Mayor Humdinger's house and he's like, we got a 187.
Yeah.
We got a 187. It's the mayor.
And I'll tell you what's
can't tell
wild
me
about that. They never question where Mayor Humdinger got the corpse from that he set fire to when he pretended
Yes.
like it was his. They just
Yes.
glazed right over that.
Yeah, speaking of Blaze, the wildest thing about that episode is it is still 11 minutes long.
Yeah.
And this thing hauls ass.
Yeah.
It trucks.
Hold on for the ride of your life, because at the end there's still a moral about not wasting food.
Yeah.
So there's like
That's
a
amazing.
whole murder mystery. They just like chuck right through.
They actually do a lot. That's also when they introduce Shadow Rebel. when Shadow Rubble shows up. The Shadow version of Rubble, the yellow one of him. The yellow one of them. He did the 187. He did the murder.
He did the murder.
He did the murder.
That's kind of sucked, actually, because that's a cheat. You
That's
know
a
what
cheat.
I mean? Like,
I like
like
Shadow.
Rubble.
I like Shadow.
If I knew
Rubble.
there's a Shadow Rubble, I'd be like, him. It's him. That's him.
That one did.
He did it.